Christian communities in Israel and the occupied Palestinian territories are fighting back against plans to impose a tax on some religious institutions. It's the latest in a series of actions the Christian community is calling a larger effort to target them. The dispute about tax exemption status for religious organizations has resurfaced in recent weeks. Israeli authorities blocked church bank accounts of the Greek Orthodox Patriarchate over the tax dispute. Meanwhile, settler attacks in the occupied West Bank have regularly targeted Christian towns with impunity. And in Gaza, the Christian community has dwindled from about 3,000 people to around 1,000 in just the past decade. Churches in the Strip have also been hit by the Israeli military. And Shireen Salti is a political analyst joining us now from Ramallah. Good to have you with us. So do you fear that this issue of taxation is a step towards confiscation of church property?
Absolutely. This is about property confiscation and land dispossession. And these measures are not isolated, but part of a systematic policy to weaken and undermine the Christian presence in the Holy Land.
And just to be clear, we're talking about church property in occupied East Jerusalem, right? That is the part of Jerusalem internationally recognized as not part of Israel, and for which there is actually a ruling by the International Court of Justice on July 19th, 2024, that said the continued presence of Israel in the occupied Palestinian territory is illegal. And it went on to say that Israel should, quote, return the land and other immovable property.
Absolutely. And an Israeli court hearing is ongoing right now to discuss the property confiscation and closure of the Armenian churches on occupied Jerusalem land by the Jerusalem municipality over this municipal tax that goes back to 30 years ago, 1994, which the Armenian Patriarchate, as well as heads of churches in Jerusalem, reject. They reject Israel's excuses and Israeli officials' excuses at the Jerusalem municipality, given their centuries long existence in the Holy Land. Now, the Latin Patriarchate of Jerusalem has condemned the Jerusalem municipality's plans. They were surprised to hear about the court hearing when there's already a committee established in 2018 to resolve such issues, calling on the municipality to practice good faith negotiations and resolve the matter through that committee. But of course, Israeli authorities don't seem to be interested in good faith negotiations, rather continuous confiscation of land.
Shireen, I understand that there is a case going on in Israeli courts, but my point is, do you have an opportunity to tell the Israeli courts that actually they shouldn't, according to the ICJ ruling, they don't have sovereignty on this territory. They shouldn't be taking either tax or they shouldn't be taking property off of Palestinian Christian communities. And in fact, according to the ICJ, do you have an opportunity to say you should be paying us reparations and restitutions, were the terms used by the ICJ?
Well, right now, the heads of churches in Jerusalem, including the Armenian Patriarch, are going the route of good faith negotiations. They are only asking the Israeli authorities to resolve this matter through a committee established in 2018. However, we've seen, even if the heads of churches did go the route of constantly asking for their rights and their self-determination on their land, that these legal provisions will continue to be ignored by the Israeli authorities, as they have been in other areas.
In other cases.
So the reality is...
Right, I just want to get a quick one in, since you're representing a Christian community there. I wonder how you feel when you hear US officials, like the US ambassador to Israel, talking about their Christian motivations to support Israel, while we hear from people like you about how Israel is threatening to confiscate Christian properties.
I can't believe that President Trump can call himself a Christian, nor can I believe that the U.S. ambassador can call himself a Christian. And I laugh when I hear Netanyahu at the United Nations saying that Israel is protecting Christian minorities. That is absolutely false. It is clear that Israel is the reason for the Christian migration outside of their lands, not like he suggested at the UN. And if I may add, there's a pattern here that's ongoing. There's a continuous reality that is clear for both Christian and Muslim Palestinians alike, which is that Israel's policies of ethnic cleansing and apartheid and ongoing dispossession of land is devastating communities across the occupied West Bank, Gaza, and even in the West Bank, in the Christian village of Taybeh, like you mentioned.
Right. Thank you so much, Shireen Salti, political analyst.
Thank you for having me.
Don't miss out to get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insight. Like, share, stay ahead.